Hi everyone. It's been a really long time since I made a lesson on Unacademy, and I have received all of your messages, and I want to thank you for those first before I begin the course. Now, the reason that I could not do that was because I was extremely busy with work, and since I have some time off right now, I thought that why not do something that can sincerely be helpful to all the people who watch my lessons and hopefully have benefited from them. Guys, my name is Reema Behl. I am the editor in chief at Blush Channel. You can check us out online. And now I'll quickly jump to the title of my course. It's called The Complete Course on English Vocabulary. Now, this in itself, I admit, can be a bit misleading because there is no such thing that can be the complete course on English vocabulary because it is so vast and there are just so many things that you can learn when it comes to a language, whether it's English or any other language. So I would do as much justice as I can to this, and in my capacity, try to make the most comprehensive, if obviously not the complete course, but definitely the most comprehensive, detailed, and well researched course on English vocabulary that I can make. I know that a lot of you guys have this request that I should also use Hindi as a language. I will use it sparingly, guys, but I would try and I would, in fact, insist that you should listen to me while I'm speaking in English because that will help you understand the language better. That's why when I make these lessons, I speak, my tempo is slow so that you can understand and grasp whatever I'm saying. If you don't understand anything, pause this lesson, rewind, go back, hear it again, and you can definitely find out what I'm saying. And if not, you can always comment and ask me, and I assure you that I would reply. Okay, moving on. This is the first lesson that I'm making in this course. Now, guys, unlike the previous courses, except the one course that I made on idioms, my courses, I have actually made sporadic lessons on the language till now and not something that has been very detailed. So, that is what I aim to change with this current course. So, this is the first time that I'm actually going to make a course per se on vocabulary. Now, within vocabulary, there can be a lot of things that need to be covered. Obviously, I would try to do as much as I can, but if I'm able to, if I'm not able to complete it or if I miss something, then you can always let me know and I will research and get back to you on that as well. Now, this is the first lesson, which is an introduction to the course, in which you will basically know if you should watch the remaining lessons or not, or if you think they can be beneficial to you or not. I simply call this the introduction to the course. Now, who should be the people who should technically follow this course? Anyone who wants to improve his or her vocabulary should watch and follow this course. And by vocabulary, of course, it can mean that you want to learn how to speak better. You want to learn, maybe you are in some job or maybe you're interacting with people who speak a lot in English and you are not able to understand that. So in order to improve your comprehension skills, to be able to understand it better, you can follow this course. Second, anyone who is attempting any competitive exam, now from MBA to your PO exams, IBPS, RBI, of course, grade B, and other exams that people usually sit for. You can there is obviously a section that is dedicated to vocabulary, from one word substitutions to synonyms and antonyms to closed tests. There are a lot of things that come in these that come as questions in these exams if you attempt those. So this course 110% can help you with that as well. And third, this course is good for anyone and everyone who likes the English language. And if you're just interested in learning something new, I really think that this course would help you. All right, now what is going to be the structure of this course? Now, here, guys, please listen carefully because I'm going to break down these courses in different ways. Okay, so the idea basically is going to be that this is going to be a holistic and a very very comprehensive course. Now, I could make one separate course on how to attempt closed tests, or I could make a separate course on how to spot the error. So those are all just based on the kind of questions that you're usually asked in competitive exams. So I didn't want to make a limited course like that. This course is going to have everything, tips and tricks to improve your vocabulary, words that are borrowed from other languages. Now, what are the roots of various words that we use in English, words that you commonly misspell in English language, how to understand the meaning of a word from the context it is used in. Let's say you read a sentence somewhere, and how do you, on the basis of reading a sentence, how can you understand what the word really means, or what is the meaning of the word? We can figure that out as well. Okay, now next we will also be covering a lot of isms, ologies, and phobias in this in this course. Like what fanaticism, okay, biologies. Like biology. So a lot of these different kinds of words that you commonly hear in English language. What is their meaning? How to use them? And these definitely are very very helpful in all these exams. Phobias, of course, hydrophobia, agoraphobia, and a lot of other phobias. Etymology of some of these words. This I think is one bit that I'm really looking forward to. Etymology, or the meaning. So the words that you see in English, or let's say you're sitting for an exam and you have a comprehension that has come in RC, and you see a word and you're like, oh, I think I know that there is this word in English, but what does this mean? If you remember the meaning of the word, that in itself is such a beautiful story. So if you're gonna go into what are the meanings of certain words, wo kahan se aaye, where did they origin from, where was the origin of these words from? So I think that would really really help you remember these better. And there are, of course, homophones, which basically are words that sound similar, but of course have different meanings, like affect and effect. So a lot of these that usually end up getting you guys confused. I have made a list of those, and I'm going to explain those with meanings so that you don't get confused. And finally, I'm going to do one thing that I have not done till now in any of my lessons, which is when I complete this course, I'm going to be giving you a practice test of sorts, which will include all these topics that I will be covering in the course. And this is going to be especially helpful for the people who are sitting and are going to be appearing for competitive exams. So this can be very, very useful for you guys. If I have to sum up this course in one line for you, I would say that this might just be one of the most helpful, I hope, the most helpful courses that I would be making, or that I have made till now on Unacademy. And I really hope this helps you. So I sincerely look forward to your feedback, and I hope that you look forward to my next lesson. Thank you. All right, then, without wasting any time, I'm straight away going to start with the next lesson in this course. This, guys, is going to be the most holistic and hopefully the most comprehensive and well defined researched course on English vocabulary that I'm making. And instead of referring to 10 different books, and instead of referring to 10 different lessons, one lesson is telling you about something, the other lesson is telling you about something else. I have combined everything and I have put it together under one umbrella, and that is this course. Now, this lesson is basically, oops, okay, there is one and one written in different ways, but anyway, that's not the focus. The idea is that I am going to basically be sharing a couple of tips and tricks with you. So, in the subsequent lessons, whatever I teach you, if you use these tricks, if you use these tips, you can amplify your learning or your ability to remember what I teach you almost by 50 to 60%. Okay, that's my belief. And I really hope that all my followers who are watching this lesson and who genuinely want to improve their English, who want to learn how to speak better, how to communicate better in English, whether it is at their school, whether it's in their college, whether it is at their place of work, or whether it is for an exam that they want to sit for in order to improve their life and become something else. Guys, this course can really be a life changer. And trust me, I'm really not boasting here, but never mind. Okay, I'm being modest. Okay, jokes apart. The first and the most important thing that you need to remember is that you don't have to be scared. Okay, there is absolutely no place for any of my students or for any of my followers who are watching this lesson to be scared or to feel underconfident. Okay, underconfidence has no place in my lessons or in my courses. If you are watching this lesson, then by default, I'm going to believe that you are somebody who wants to learn his or her language skills. Okay, guys? So, जब आप मुझे comment करेंगे या जब आप मुझसे कोई question पूछेंगे, आप ये नहीं बोलेंगे कि मैम difficult है, मैम हो नहीं रहा, मैम कैसे करें? Stop asking me that. बस करो. शुरू करो सीखना. मैं जो बता रही हूँ उससे कुछ आपको जो भी समझ में आता है उसको यूज़ करो डेली लाइफ में. या सो सिंस हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश आर द टू लैंग्वेजेस दैट आई एम supposedly a little good at, I am trying to use these two languages. For those who do not understand Hindi, I hope that my English is kind of making it easier for you to understand the course. One very important thing that I learned while I was researching for this course was that the people who we identify as English people today, right? People who belong to Great Britain, that is, जो हम बोलते हैं लंदन में रहते हैं या फिर यूके में रहते हैं, यूनाइटेड किंगडम में, we identify those as the English people, right? But the funny thing is that even the English they even they did not speak English right from the beginning. So in the early, I don't know, probably 7th or 8th centuries, I was reading this somewhere. There were English actually originated and it was brought to Great Britain by certain people who were from the northwest Germany and the northern Netherlands. Okay, they came to Britain and that's how English was introduced to that region, right? So English is a borrowed language. वो through these centuries वो कैसे evolve हुई है. तो आज the kind of English that we speak with each other in, that English is very very different from the original English that was brought to this region, and then how obviously it traveled throughout the world because of colonization and yeah, other not so great events. But yeah, let's remember the fact that जब English language खुद इतना ज़्यादा बदली है, evolve हुई है, change हुई है, तो हमको भी धीरे धीरे करके इस language में evolve होना चाहिए. For instance, a word like selfie, I mean, it definitely did not exist a couple of years ago, but today it's a part of the urban lexicon, that people like you or I, when we speak to each other, or in fact the whole world today, let's take a selfie, etc., etc. So words are constantly added to English language, and obviously you can't remember each and every word, but whenever you are speaking, try to make an effort that you use a better word while explaining something. For instance, when you say, I'm feeling very sad. So instead of saying sad all the time, open the dictionary or the thesaurus or watch one of these lessons on Unacademy and replace it with a better word. Yeah, these are the small efforts that you need to start making. Don't learn this just to clear your exams, guys. Learn this because you genuinely want to improve. Now, certain methods that can help you do this, I have listed a couple of them down. So in future, whatever I will be teaching you, you learn those words, put those together. If it's a notebook or if it is your laptop in which you're noting all of this down, try to put a pattern to this so that you're able to remember it better. The first thing can be association, right? Now, every word that I read or every word that I come across, our mind by default associates that with certain people, events, images, etc., whatever you can remember. For instance, a word like prolific that I have used as an example. Now, prolific, I would never remember the word prolific. Okay, I would always, if I would see it written somewhere, I would see the word prolific, but in my mind, I would read it as profile or profilic. So that was weird. But because profile is a word that we commonly see or use, so our mind maybe throws that at us first. But then when I found out the meaning of the word prolific or illustrious or somebody who is really great at what they do, for instance, somebody like an Amitabh Bachchan is usually the one person who I associate with the word prolific. He's a prolific actor. Somebody like Premchand was a prolific author, of his time. So prolific, you understand that I'm using the word prolific. अगर आपको अभी भी इसका मतलब नहीं समझ में आया है तो you see that the word is being used with great personalities like Amitabh Bachchan or Premchand or J.K. Rowling or I don't know, Pete Sampras or other such well-known people. So you see that whoever has done great in their life, we are using the word prolific for them. So prolific, therefore, you understand is a word that has a positive connotation and you can more or less understand the meaning. तो कल को जब एग्जाम में आपको मतलब आएगा कि prolific का मतलब क्या होता है और आपको 4 ऑप्शंस दिए जाएंगे तो आपको याद आ जाएगा, अरे prolific was a word I associated with अमिताभ बच्चन, यानी कि पॉजिटिव वर्ड है, अच्छा काम करने वाले के साथ हमने वो किया, यानी कि prolific is somebody who's really well known and great at his or her work. So you will be able to understand and identify its meaning. Yeah, so this is how association can help you remember certain words. Next is networking, and I'm obviously not talking about social media or social networking. What I'm speaking about is that you create a network, okay? The different networks that you create basically are different grids or clusters or groups that you make that can help you remember a larger number of words in a small span of time. Okay, now these are words you can divide on the basis of themes. These are words you can cluster or club together on the basis of the roots. These are words that you can club together, and using antonyms and synonyms, guys, you can remember a lot of words using these techniques. For example, let's say हमने एक theme ली anger. Okay, we used the theme anger, or in your notebook or in my laptop I said theme 1 anger. Now whichever words I find that come under this theme, for instance infuriate, belittle, diatribe, vex, now all these words specifically, their meanings of course differ but they collectively come under this. So हमारे को लग गया, we understood that हाँ ये negative है, गुस्से वाला emotion है, anger है. So we understand that कल को if in the newspaper you read this word or you come across this word, you know that it's not a positive word, or you know that the context in which this word has been used, it's not a good context, it's negative. Again, if you club these, अगर आपको word का exact meaning याद नहीं आता है, if you remember the theme or if you remember the group in which that word belongs, it becomes easier for you to remember and eventually in your exams also select the right answer. Yeah. Okay, another thing, guys, homework. All these 4 words that I have used here in this category, I would like to know the meanings, the exact meanings of these 4 words, and please mention those in the comments and I'm going to check it. All right, the next method that can help you that I said is, the root-based group. So in a root-based group, let's say, and this is what the next part of my lessons, my upcoming lessons are going to be. Now, we deconstruct a word in a way that we divide its root, we remove the root and then we see the word. So if we know the meaning of a root that has been used in the word, we are able to learn a lot of new words and guess their meanings. For example, अगर किसी word में the root D has been used, DE, we understand that the root means down or out or apart. It's not a good, it does not have a very positive meaning. So when we see a word like debase or decline or debilitate, we know that these are words that can't be positive words. These are not happy words. So meaning becomes more or less the same or slightly different. But when you see a word that usually starts with DE, you know that, yeah, it may not really be a positive word. Of course, there are other roots also in this, like DEC or DEC, which is of course 10 or 10th, or demo or DEM, which is people. So we'll come to all of that later. But if you remember and recognize the roots of the words, and you can separate the root of the word from the remaining part, trust me, guys, you can remember these words at the drop of a hat very, very easily. Last way is dividing it into synonyms and antonyms. Let's take a look at this word lackadaisical. Now, I have not explained the meaning of this word to you over here. Let's simply take a look at the synonyms. Synonyms मतलब similar meaning वाला words. Lackadaisical का similar meaning is careless, lazy, lax, unenthusiastic, half-hearted, uninterested, lukewarm, indifferent, uncaring, unconcerned, casual, right? So all of these are the synonyms of the word. Antonyms or opposites are ambitious, animated, energetic, enterprising, motivated. So you understand that lackadaisical basically means a person who's lazy and जिसको कोई interest नहीं है, बहुत lackadaisical सा attitude है. But it's opposite. Agar if a person is really spirited, if a person is really confident, if a person is somebody who is very ambitious and motivated, then that person is not lackadaisical. So what happens is in this way you actually learn so many other new words, right? Over here in all these different synonyms that you write down, you remember. And antonyms say you understand what the word can or cannot mean. So this is also a trick that we can use that can not only help us understand the meaning of a word but also help us remember it better. Now, another thing that can really help you is that if you understand the context in which the word has been used, it can really help you remember the word. So, when you're reading a newspaper or a word and you come across something, when you're reading a newspaper or a website and you come across some word and you can't understand, so then you can play this little game where you guess the meaning of the word. But you have to be very careful कि हमने किस context में वो word use किया है. For example, if we see the word expose, it can have a positive connotation and a negative connotation. For example, the reporter will expose the minister for his misdeeds. That is a negative connotation because इसमें वो उसको expose कर देगा जैसे हम बोलते हैं. If you travel to other countries, you will expose yourself to different cultures. Here, this expose comes in the form of exposure. आपको better exposure मिलेगा. So that's a positive connotation. So when you read something, guys, you have to be very careful कि वो हम किस context में use कर रहे हैं. कभी उसका meaning positive भी हो सकता है और कभी negative भी. Okay. Of course, these are some things that are really basic now, and it totally depends on how much of an effort do you really want to make in this learning. You can use flashcards and write different meanings. You can write these techniques. For example, एक anger का flashcard बना दिया, एक happiness का flashcard बना दिया, एक friendly का flashcard बना दिया. उनके अंदर you can add your list of words, and this way you can keep memorizing them. So the more you memorize, it's easier for you to remember. You can use certain cool diagrams where you can use your various arrows, connect the words, use whatever works for you so that you're able to drill these words in your mind and remember them. Yeah. So guys, these were certain tips and tricks that act as an introduction for my course, and they will really help you grasp whatever I'm learning better. And what I'm going to start this course with now is we are going to touch upon the roots of various words in English language, and I am actually going to be teaching you the over 230 roots, guys. That's a lot, but it's not everything. But I hope that this helps you, and we are going to start covering those roots in an alphabetical order. So soon you'll be getting a lesson on roots that start with A. Okay, I have a few like auto and anthrop, and if you remember these, guys, trust me, this is going to be like a cakewalk. I hope you're liking this, and I genuinely hope this helps you guys. Take care. Bye. Hi guys, I hope you're enjoying my course on English vocabulary. Through this course, I'm trying to combine everything that I know and everything that I am learning while researching about this course on English vocabulary, and I am putting all of that together under one umbrella in the hope that if you're sitting for any competitive exam or if you're somebody who genuinely wants to improve her or his speaking skills in English, this course may be able to help you. I hope that I'm able to add at least 100 new words in your vocabulary by the end of this course, because the kind of techniques that I'll be teaching you in this course and the different manners in which I will try to make you remember the words, I think they will stay in your head. And I think if you practice enough, they will become a part of your everyday lexicon. And I hope that you use them with your friends. Okay, now before I move further, let me tell you that as promised in the last lesson, I am going to start now. This is going to be the first section, guys, in the structure of the course. First, I gave you some tips and tricks about how whatever I'm now going to start teaching you, you can amplify your learning process by using those tricks. I told you about word association. I told you about putting the words together in different groups and clusters. I told you about using synonyms and antonyms so that you can learn a lot of words in at the same time. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you the different roots that are used in English language. Okay, I'm just going to go a little ahead in this course just to give you an idea. So what you see up here, these are the roots. Okay, roots जिसको in Hindi हम जड़ बोलते हैं. So हम लिटरली एक हर एक वर्ड जो मैं आपको इसमें पढ़ाऊंगी इंग्लिश वर्ड, हम उसकी जड़ तक जाएंगे और हम उस जड़ का मतलब समझेंगे कि वो वर्ड ओरिजिनेट कहाँ से हुआ है. एंड वंस वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट, I think remembering the word would really be like a piece of cake. Yeah, it would not be difficult at all. But before I begin, and these are, of course, my first set of words, I'm going to cover roots that start from the letter A and B. But before I cover, I just want to check the feedback that I have got on the courses. I have the Unacademy site open in front of me right now, and I just wanted to respond to a couple of comments through this lesson right now. So, Vinay Singh, who has commented, Vinay, you need to understand that you have not used the word prolific correctly. You may use the word prolific with an artist, or if you cannot say that my voice is prolific. I think it's the wrong usage of the word. You may say that a person is a prolific writer or a composer or a sports player or an educator in this case. And prolific basically means somebody, it's somebody who does a lot of work, or it's characterized by great results, right? Like Mr. Amitabh Bachchan has done a lot of movies. That's why we called him a prolific actor or a prolific artist. So somebody's voice, I don't think you can use the word prolific there. So correct that usage. And Shanket Mohanty, I am going to touch upon essay writing in my next course. Right now, I'm just focusing on vocabulary, and so that is going to be the complete and total focus. Akhil to, to, Totathil, I'm sorry, I can't get the pronunciation right here. Akhil, you have got the word wrong. I have used the word vex in my lesson and not yex. It's vex, not yex. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Okay, let me go on to the other lesson and see if there is something else. Okay, Yash Bhadoria, he wants to know what is going to be the duration of this course. So Yash, I have not yet decided how many lessons I'm going to make, but I am going topic wise. So right now I am going to touch on the roots of various English words, and as I had mentioned earlier, we are going to cover all the letters from A to Z, and this may take up like a couple of lessons, probably 10 to 15 of my lessons are now going to be dedicated to the roots of these words, because obviously I'll be giving you certain tests and some innovative tricks that I have come up with that can help you learn these words. So overall, I think because this is going to be a rather holistic course, I imagine this to last for up to uh, 30 plus or 40 lessons at least, because everything under English vocabulary I intend to cover. Yeah. All right then. Since I have tried to answer almost all your queries that I saw on the Unacademy website, I'm now quickly going to jump on to my roots, right? Not my roots, but yeah, the roots of the various words. Now, guys, in just one line, if I explain what is the purpose of this particular lesson, it is that I am going to take you through certain roots, and those would all be written in capital letters. Take a look at them, try to remember them and what they stand for. And in your exams, when you are asked those multiple choice questions, where you're asked what is the synonym of this word, or what is the antonym of this word, or what is the meaning of this word, or what is the closest to this word that you can guess, if you remember even like let's say 25 to 30% of these roots that I'm going to start teaching you now, I think you are going to ace these exams. I think it'll be very, very easy for you to answer these questions, right? So, in the first slide, I'm going to take you through the root and certain words that come with it. And in the next slide, I explain the meaning of those words so that you can remember them. And, guys, whatever you're learning here, if you're listening to this course, if you're taking this course up, please make sure that you have at least another laptop open in front of you where you're noting these words down, or you have a notebook in front of you where you note these down, and something that catches your attention, you're able to use that to remember these words. Otherwise, it's very difficult to keep a stock of all of these words in your brain, right? It's not that easy. All right, so we'll begin with the first root, ANIM, right? And don't think animal per se, just say hum ye word, using this root ANIM, we can make the word animal. But yeah, this essentially means mind, spirit, or breath, somebody's breath. But the meaning of a root does not necessarily have to reflect in every word, right? Now, animosity, unanimous, and magnanimous are the three words that I have used, in which you can see ANIM, ANIM, and ANIM. This particular root is there in all these words. So if in the exam this question comes, you're like, yeah, I know, it was something to do with the mind and spirit, right? So animosity is hatred. Animosity, let's say, two friends who had a fight in class, they now have developed this animosity towards each other. So animosity is a negative word. So the spirit in this case, or the feel that you have in this case, is a negative one, right? So here the root anim is used like this. Now, unanimous is together. Unanimous is usually used, where judges are announcing the result of some competition and they say that we unanimously arrived at this decision. So unanimous means together also. So here again, this is how this has been used. Magnanimous, okay, some people they say that a magnanimous means huge or big hearted, but usually the word magnanimous is used for somebody who's generous or forgiving towards another person, a very charitable person. Like you can call somebody like a Bill Gates a magnanimous person, an altruistic, open, kind hearted, bade dil wala insan. That person is a magnanimous person. Yeah. An or ENNN. Yeah. Both these, they denote year. Okay. This is essentially what it means. Words that I have come up with: annual, biennial, and perennial. What do these mean? Annual, of course, means yearly, and also see A over here. Okay. Annual. So A and N हमारा root है. So A and N means year, and so annual means yearly. Biennial, by default it means two. So when I go to B, you will know BI. Bi means two. So biennial means something that happens every 2 years, once in 2 years. So annual is once a year, biennial is once in 2 years. Perennial is perpetual. Perennial is something that always keeps on happening. Perennial can be let's say this river has a perennial flow of water, or this, it basically means that this river never dries up. So it is overflowing with water throughout the year. So it has a perennial supply of fresh water. So perennial means always also. Here is where I also give you a first homework, guys. You need to find two more words for me using the root an. Yeah, I have used both these roots, E and N, here at two places. Annual has also been used. So I want you to use the root an, ANN, and give me two more words. So we've already covered 6 words, guys. 3 here using the root anim, and 3 here using the roots an or n. Next is anthrop. Of course, a lot of you take sociology, or as some people pronounce it as sociology, as your preferred choice of subject when you're sitting for UPSC. When we studied sociology in college, we also had anthropology along with it. So the root here to observe is anthrop, and anthrop means human. Now, anthropology is basically the study of various aspects of humans within the past and the present societies. We have social anthropology or cultural anthropology, that studies the various values of the societies. There is linguistic anthropology that studies the language, and how language can affect your social life. So anthropology basically is the study of human societies and their development. Now, like in simple words, study of humankind. The second word that I have used here is anthropomorphic. Notice the pronunciation, guys. It's anthropomorphic. And your next homework is that you have to tell me the meaning. And if you don't tell me the meaning, then you'll have to wait till tomorrow. And in my next lesson, I will then reveal the meaning of the word anthropomorphic. Yeah? Next. Now I have kept both of these roots in the same slide because they're common here. And sometimes after A and T, we have an I. Sometimes after A and T, we have an E. So in English, in the US accent, if you say, a lot of people say anti and not anti. Here, a lot of people say ante, A-N-T-E, you up the ante. So, or ante. So this is what it is. I have used words like antecedent, antebellum, antiquated, antediluvian, and antipathy. Now the meaning. Look at these meanings very, very carefully, guys. Now, while anti with an I, okay, it means against or opposite, and ante or ante with an E means before. Now, how can you remember this? Very, very simple. I and against. In both cases, there is AI and AI, right? So, opposite or against means anti, and before has E, and ante has E. So where there's E, it means before. Where it's I, it means against. So this is how you can remember. So a word where we have, let's say, antipathy means holding bad feelings. So this shows this is against, right, in this case. But you have to be very, very careful because let's say a word like antiquated means old or outmoded. Antiquated, if I have to use this word in a sentence, I can say this antiquated cooking system or something that is out of date. एकदम outdated हो गया है वो चीज़, old fashioned, पुराने ज़माने का. You can also use a word like primitive, obsolete, जिसका अभी ज़्यादा वो use नहीं है. We say antiquated for it. Antediluvian has a different meaning. It basically, it's the time, it's that era which is described in the Christian Bible as the period when it signifies the fall or the first man and woman, and it basically is a period that ends with the destruction of all life on earth except for those who were saved in Noah's ark. You know about Noah's ark, right? If not, you can please look it up online. It's a very, very interesting story. So antediluvian, while both somehow can mean old fashioned, antediluvian is used as old fashioned in a more casual sense, right? Now, antebellum means before a war. We have another root here, B-E-L-L, which I'll come to later. Antecedent means preceding or before, right? So, A-N-T-E, jahan pe bhi hai, it's usually before. In antediluvian, if you say that, antiquated or antediluvian ka same meaning lag raha hai. So, that's why I have kept A-N-T common in both cases. I have the last word that I'm quickly going to end. AUD means here, and please don't suggest the word audio for this. With AUD as the root, which means here, we have words like auditory, which means related to hearing, and audible means something that can be heard. Now, next is auto, but I think I'm running out of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this lesson to the next part, and I'm going to describe these roots to you, whichever are the missing ones, and check on B once again. Thanks, guys. All right. Hi guys, I'm back with the course. So the last one ended because we only get 15 minutes from an academy to finish one lesson. Now I'm going to extend the roots from letters A and B in this lesson as well. So we were at auto, and I had still not touched. In the last lesson, we ended at the root AOD, which means hear. So words like audible, if you identify the root AOD, you can remember what it means. Next root here is auto, 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 of course, which means self. And the words here that we have are autobiography, autocrat, and autonomous. Please notice the pronunciation. Don't say autonomous, it's autonomous, autocrat, and autobiography. Now, autobiography is a life story that is written by oneself. Of course, the most famous, no, the most famous, yes, autobiography is that of Hitler, is if that I can remember. If you know which one, mention in the comments. Next is autocrat. Now, autocrat is a ruler with complete power. Now, the moment I read the word autocrat, and of course, I have come across the word autocrat a lot of times, and when I was preparing this lesson and I came across this word because it has the root auto, I started researching and I figured that, I remember that movie, The Dictator, that became really popular. So, what exactly is the difference between a dictator and an autocrat? And how is a democrat and an autocrat different? So, these were things that were there in my head. I found a couple of answers online, but none of them were convincing. So, since you guys are actually preparing for your exams, and I'm sure this might be a topic that you may have come across at some time or the other, if anyone can explain the difference between an autocrat and a dictator, and an autocrat and a democrat, or an autocracy and a democracy, how are these different? If somebody can explain and write in comments, I'd be really grateful, and thank you in advance for that. Next one is autonomous. Autonomous is acting independently. Autonomous, and for the Kashmir issue, everyone says that you should give autonomy to Kashmir. So let the area, the region act independently. And some people say that we should not be giving autonomy to Kashmir. Of course, that is a topic that I really do not want to touch in this lesson right now. That obviously merits a lot of different lessons and a deeper level of discussion and understanding of the issue, which we can always do later. But here it is about the root auto, and using this you can obviously remember. Please, when I say auto, don't think about the autos that ply on our roads, but auto basically means self, khud se karna, auto, it's automatic, right? I gave you another word. If you can think of more words using this root auto, please do share with me. Let's move on to B. B is it has the first root, the first set of roots that I'm using from the alphabet, from the letter B, is bio and biblio, right? Bio means life, so you think of words like biology or symbiosis. Biblio, of course, I'm sure a lot of you might already mean, is book. So we have words like bibliography and bibliophile. You might have seen a lot of online quizzes about what kind of a bibliophile are you. Bibliophile basically means somebody who loves books. A book lover is a bibliophile. So you can totally find a library in the bibliophile's room. A bibliography is basically a list of books. So usually when you read a book, towards the end you have a couple of pages of bibliography, or when you're writing your thesis. So that refers to all the books that you have used and referred to while creating your thesis. So if I had to write a bibliography for these lessons, I would also mention the list of books that I have used to create this course. But I'm not sharing any of those names with you right now. Okay, bio, the second root, bio, bio, which of course means life, and my favorite subject, biology, which is the study of life in any form, not just human life. Very, very, very interesting. Symbiosis is mutual dependence. So sim here is another root that we will come to when we proceed towards the letter S, but bio means life. So I will actually break down this word for you when we reach S, so it's easier for you to understand. Next is bell or belly. Now, belligerent is one and antebellum is another. Now, if you remember or rack your brains a little bit, you will remember that I had used the word antebellum even in A. If not, pause this lesson right now, go back to my previous lesson, see where I have used the word antebellum, and you will know now exactly what this word means. Ante was before, the root that I had used. If bell is war, so obviously antebellum means it becomes before war. So antebellum is a word that we use in this sense, and because we know the roots, it actually becomes very, very easy for us to understand the meaning of the word. And if you get such a question, it of course can be very easy for you to answer the right, or select the right option. Belligerent is usually a word that we use to describe somebody's personality, or if somebody is being very aggressive. So belligerent literally means like warlike, because here is the root bell or belly. Yeah, belligerent usually is used to describe somebody's behavior at a certain point of time, which is maybe very, very aggressive or warlike. So we say the person is basically, being rather belligerent about the whole thing. The pronunciation is, of course, this. If I have to think of another sentence, not just person, but we can also think about the mood at a certain place. So let's say the mood at the meeting between the leading party and the opposition party was rather belligerent. So that's how you use the word warlike, yeah? Next is ben or bene, which of course means good. And all these words that I have used, which make the meaning obvious. Benign, which means good natured or something that's not harmful. Benign means I can also say seedha sadha, sharif. So that's benign. Benevolent is generous, somebody who's generous. I had also used the word generous for magnanimous, but magnanimous is more like big hearted or somebody very dayavan sort of a person. Benevolent is generally a kind hearted, sweet, gentle soul. Beneficent is somebody who's helpful. Now, in order to understand these words better and to remember this root, I want you to use all these three words in three sentences, and I'm going to check those sentences tomorrow, guys. So make sure that you do that. By. Now, I had used the word this root by earlier also when I was going through the roots with the letter A. And the only word that I've used here is bilingual because I want you to find two more words using the root by. By, very, very simple, guys. By means two. So by default, bilingual means somebody who's able to use two languages. Yeah. Next is burse, and a very, very easy way to remember this is purse. So BURS or burse means money. Therefore, words like reimburse or disburse, they become very, very easy to understand. While reimburse means to refund or to repay, disburse means to pay out. Now, your homework here is that using the word salary, you have to use both these words, reimburse and disburse, in a sentence each. So, I want two sentences from you. One that has the word reimburse and the word salary. Second, that has the word disburse and the word salary. If you make these sentences and send those to me, trust me, guys, you are not going to forget the meanings of these words. Next is the last slide of this lesson right now. It's about me telling you that the next time that I see you or before I start the lesson, I'm going to be really strict, guys, and I'm going to be checking the work that I have given you. And don't see this as homework or something that is annoying. This is something that is really going to help you remember the words, guys. So let's take this seriously. Let's have fun with the words that we are learning, and let's genuinely improve our spoken English and genuinely add more words, right? We have to stop using words like sad, nice, good. Let's find better words like, what did we read? Benevolent. Let's use words like magnanimous. Let's use words like belligerent. Yeah, there's so many of them. So it's time to improve your vocabulary, and with this course, we should be able to do that. I'll be back with the letters that start from the words that start from the letter C. We will see more roots and we will be able to remember more. All right. Thanks, guys. Hi guys, I hope you're all having a great day. I'm really, really sorry I could not upload a new lesson yesterday, but that's because my grandmom was unwell, so I was a little busy with that. But in order to make up for it, I have got a great lesson for you today. As you all know, the purpose of this entire course is to make sure that you add at least 100 new words in your daily lexicon and you're able to use those words. Up till now, I am reading all of your comments and I'm trying to reply to most of them. Before I begin all these words with the letter C and tell you what these roots are, I just wanted to take up a couple of comments. Raghav Kumar, special props to you because Raghav is the only one who has actually bothered to write and explain the difference between an autocracy and a democracy. And I'm glad that he was able to do that homework and actually complete it. Guys, you all know that I'm checking it, and the reason why I'm giving you these small tasks is basically to enhance your learning skills. If you go out there, once you listen to my lesson and once you complete this task, I think it's easier for you to remember these words. So try and do it. And so thanks, Raghav. I've actually replied to your comment, and if you can give me the difference between an autocracy and a dictatorship, that would be great too. Somebody called Abhishek Singh Chaudhary has a very interesting question. Abhishek says that while the root AUD, it means to hear or listen, but words like audacious, which is spelled as AUDACIOUS, audacious, it means bold, and it is not related to hearing at all. That is absolutely right, Abhishek. And the thing is that the roots that I am explaining here, of course, these are the meanings of these roots, and in a lot of it's usually, let's say, a certain percentage of words in English. It might be easier for you to identify the meaning using this. Obviously, in a lot of cases, it might be different. Words that start from these roots, it really might not have a similar meaning. But like I said, English is a funny language. The more you know, the less you think you know. That's why we always have to keep trying. So before wasting any more time, let me quickly move on to the next alphabet, that is C. See, I'm taking two roots here. Cap. See, Abhishek, your point gets answered here also. Here, CAP or CIP stands for head. For instance, decapitate, which means to cut off someone's head, or precipitate, which means to rise suddenly. Precipitate also means the precipitation outside. When we say it's raining, it's precipitating, right? I think it was a term that we learned in geography while we were in school. But that's the thing with English. The same root, CAP, CIP, again over here, it can have different meanings. Like here, cap here stands for to take or to seize, matlab kuch lena. So here we say deception, which is cheating, capacious, which means spacious, captivate means to enchant or to capture. So in all the words, I have specifically chosen these words because despite the fact that these are the roots, the meanings of these words is very, very different. So that's the way it works with the English language, and therefore we have to try more. So, five new words, guys, we have learned here: decapitate, precipitate, captivate, capacious, and deception. I have mentioned the meanings of all five, and I want you to make a sentence using all five. I mean, you don't have to use all five in the same sentence, but make one sentence each from these five words. So I need five new sentences from you, and I hope that these are five words that remain etched in your memory then. Next is carn, CARN, which stands for flesh. So the words we have is carnal, that is physical, carnage, which means mass killings, incarnate, which means embodied in human form, reincarnation, a very, very popular term in which in Hindi is referred to as punarjanam. So this is what incarnate means. So in I think in this case, the root kan is actually expressed in all three words. So in all three, we somehow understand that yeah, this is the context in which these words must have come. So if in the exam you are asked a question, you can definitely, I hope, select the correct answer. The second homework here for you guys is that you need to find two more words using the word kan, using the root kan, and you can please share those words in the comment section. Next is chrome, and the word after that is cron. So guys, focus on the pronunciation here. While CHROM is chrome, which means color, CHRON is pronounced as cron, which means time. So words from chrome are that I have taken here are chromatic and monochrome. So chromatic means related to color. Anything that is related to color becomes chromatic, and monochrome means single color. So I'll give you an interesting incident. While I was working at Femina magazine, we used to have a lot of these clothes that used to come to our office that various designers used to make. And some once I saw this dress that was completely black in color, and then once there was a dress that was completely white in color. So something like that becomes a monochromatic dress. So it's something that's a monochrome or a monochromatic ensemble, which means that it's of a single color. So an all white, if somebody is wearing an all white dress, right, so it becomes it's a monochromatic look that that person has, single color. That's how you can use it. Chron or time, the words that I have used are chronology, chronic, and anachronism. Now, chronology is an order of years. So let's say when we say that we want to know the chronological order in which the BJP was in power in India, right? So if we have to put it chronologically, we will start from the year 1947, since India got independence, and from 1947 till 2017, the person will calculate and look back and figure out how many times the BJP was in power. So chronologically, if you have to answer that, you have to start from the very first, from the beginning. So that's how the order of yours. Chronic is long lasting. Chronic also, a lot of times doctors say that this is a chronic sickness. So that's also how it is used. Give me another word for chronic. This is the third homework that I'm giving you guys. Give me a synonym for chronic in this case. Anachronism, which is the last one, is again outdated person or thing. Now, a quick test for you. In the previous two alphabets, in the previous two letters, A and B, I had used two words using this root, and you need to tell me where the words were used, where the meaning was outdated or old fashioned. There were two words that were used, and I had explained the meanings of both the words. So you have to go back to those lessons, find those words for me, and tell me. I know I'm giving you a lot of homework, guys, but trust me, it's for a good cause. Next is cide, C-I-D-E, which means murder. The words that we have are homicide, regicide, and patricide. Homicide means when you kill a human being, it becomes homicide. Regicide, which of course was prevalent in the earlier times, is when somebody kills a king. When you kill a king, it's referred to as regicide. Patricide means when you kill a parent. So when you kill your own parent, God forbid if that happens, but that is referred to as patricide. If somebody else kills your parent, I'm sorry, that's a very, very bad example. But yeah, if somebody else kills a person who is somebody's parent, then that is actually homicide because that person was not your parent. So if a human being kills his or her own parent, then that becomes patricide. Okay, moving on. Cred, which means trust or believe. Of course, the first word that comes to my mind with cred is credit. So because you trust or believe, the banks trust us, that's why they give us the credit. But anyway, next is the words that we have used here. They are incredible, credulous, and credence. Credence means belief. Credulous means ready to believe even on uncertain evidence. So there is actually a thin line of difference between these two words, that is credence and credulous. That's why I'm asking you to use all these three words in a sentence, because when you make a sentence from this, you will be able to understand the difference better. Incredible, of course, it means unbelievable. And if I have to use it in a sentence, I would definitely say that all of my students on Unacademy are absolutely incredible. But credulous and credence, there is a reason why I have used these two words. So please use them in a sentence and tell me the difference between these two. Next is cosm or cosmo, which means world. So cosmos, of course, is the world. Macrocosm is the universe or the entire world. A lot of times people refer to the universe also as the cosmos, but I guess you can use these interchangeably. Next is culp. Of course, I can think of a word with that, which is culprit. Culp, which means blame or fault. Culpable, inculpate, and exculpate. Again, very, very interesting. I am not going to be telling you the meanings of these, by telling you the root. Now, Abhishek, I had mentioned you in the beginning of the lesson. A lot of times, the roots may have a different meaning, and the words that we create using these roots may have a different meaning. So, what you have to do here is I have given you the root and I have given you the meaning of that root. First, and I am also giving you a hint that all these three are related to crime or punishment. What you have to do is to guess the meanings of these three words: culpable, inculpate, and exculpate. Find the meanings, guess them using the root, and then you can check it online what the real meaning is. Once you do that, share it with me tomorrow. So all of you who are listening to this lesson, do the small exercise along with all the other exercises that I have given you in this lesson and share it with me tomorrow. And only and only if I get your answers, when I check all of them, is when I will be sharing my next lesson with you, which is going to be of words. Which begin with roots that start from the letters D and E. So, if you want to go on to the next set of words, and guys, I have a lot of other lessons that I have planned in this course. So, if you want me to move forward, you first have to help me a little and give me these answers. I will wait for your comments. I hope all of you have a great day. Thank you.